I wanted this to not be true so bad. I told everybody throughout the past few videos that I've done that it would be the worst reveal of all time if they actually had Halbrand come out as Sauron, and they frickin' did it. I have never, in all of my years of watching films and television, reading books, I don't think I have ever seen a worse reveal of the villain than this one. If you know anything about the lore of Middle-earth and the Lord of the Rings, Sauron is the grand deceiver. No one sees him coming. And in the books, he is, at least appears to be, as an elf. And that's how. Oh my god. Let's just take a moment and reflect upon all of the red herrings they threw at us during the past episodes of Rings of Power, where so many of us were standing there going, oh, 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 Sauron, Sauron, Sauron. But yet, at the same time, going, please don't be Sauron, please don't be Sauron, please don't be Sauron, because that would be like the worst. Like, to make him Sauron would be so over the top. You just wrote it right into the storyline. You didn't even try to, do a like plot twist or anything. You just literally were like, get, that's Sauron, guys. Yeah, yeah. Look at our Sauron. Look, our Sauron is like the best Sauron ever. Yeah, don't you like our Sauron? It was bad. We're going to talk about all that today here. This is Rings of Power Rant. I'm Tim Ederson, aka Renfield, the Bearded Dwarven Princess. As always, if this is your first time here, like, subscribe, hit the bell icons to get more like this. Support the channel like all of these amazing people. At the end of the video, we'll talk about it. And of course, don't forget, Mondays in Middle Earth every Monday at 11 a.m. as I read through The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and The Silmarillion to continue to expose the BS around Rings of Power and beyond. So hopefully we'll see you there for those episodes. So let's just talk about for a few minutes. Like, I think one of the biggest things for me was the sort of throwing the Forge stuff at us every episode. You'd see Halbrand walking by a forge, wanting to use the forge, forging swords, helping the guys in Numenor with the forge. And that in and of itself was always the number one, people going, that's Sauron, like that's Sauron. But there was also the whole component of, you know, I'm you don't know what I've done, you don't know who I am. Um, the mysterious stranger, I think in I forget what episode it was, but when he steals the guild crest and the guild members confront him in the streets, and he's like, "Don't," and then he just suddenly flips out and he like beats the crap out of all of these guys. The fact that he's, this veritable badass with combat is kind of suspicious, but not entirely suspicious. Mostly it was the forge stuff and everything else. But as we got deeper into the episode, deeper into the episodes, frog in my throat. I think episode 7, when there's that whole sequence of when he brings down Adar on the horse and he's over him with the spear and he's like, "Don't you remember me?" And Adar's like, "No." And then after the torture sequence, or not the torture sequence, but the interrogation sequence that was going to lead to torture, um, Adar looks at him and he's like, "Who are you?" And he looks back at him, and nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Um, there was just so many things where they kept like obviously pointing at Halbrand and going, "Guys, check out our version of Sauron." Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, we're gonna wait for the reveal, but yeah, look over, yeah, that's him. But I think the worst part about it was also like the way that they tried to, at the same time as like giving us all these red herrings, they were also over here trying to say, "Hey guys, don't look what the left hand is doing. Look at the right hand. Look at the right hand. Hey guys, right hand. You know what's going on with the right hand? Yeah, 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 yeah. Remember that stranger? Every time the stranger shows up, is he good? Is he bad? I don't know. But let's give him dark fingers and black magic, and he's hurting people, and maybe he's good, maybe he's bad. We don't know. But also, creepy music every time strangers on screen, we get creepy music. Like maybe he's bad, maybe he's bad, maybe he's Sauron." and then the first 5 minutes of the uh, series finale, where they're like the witches are confronting the stranger, aka Gandalf, and telling him Lord Sauron, and then they do the credit sequence, was like that was the biggest, like, the season finale was one of the worst things I've ever seen because of the slap in the face of anybody who knows storytelling, where like you try to do this one thing in the first 5 minutes of the episode, and then we're not even halfway through the episode, and we get the reveal of who the real villain is. Like, I don't even want to get into the fact that in a true format, like, we would have had the reveal of Sauron be something that didn't happen in season one. It would have been eked out over the first, maybe at the end of season two, but we get this whole, forgetting the fact that they forged the rings in 3 weeks when it was supposed to take like 90 years or something. And during that process in the books, that entire time period was the slow, gradual seduction of the peoples by Sauron. And this slow gradual thing, not just this brute force reveal where he confronts Galadriel, or Galadriel confronts him with this list of. And this is what was so funny to me is, like, previously she looked at the paperwork and was like, oh yeah, he's totally legitimate, and she wanted so bad that she was like, yeah, he's legitimate, he's gonna get me my armies coming from Numenor. And then we get her here where she's got access to a different elven library, and she's like, but wait, the paperwork was wrong, the Wikipedia didn't have the right information. The link was incorrect. Um, this brute force reveal was, again, this is some of the worst storytelling I've ever seen in a television show before, in cinema as a whole. Like, the whole time. uh, Oh man, I'm actually kind of speechless. I for the first time, I'm actually kind of speechless. There were so many ways that they could have done a song, because Anatar. I'm gonna look this up real quick. I could swear Anatar, and it's been a while since I've read the Silmarillion. So ridiculous. Anatar was known. Anatar, Lord of Gifts, an emissary from the Valar. So he wasn't. Think about that for a minute. An emissary from the Valar. That's who he appeared to the elves as. And many of them bought into it. Some of them were suspicious, but many of them bought into it. And in the show, we don't even get anything even alluding to the fact that he would have been someone coming from the Valar so seductively powerful that he overwhelmed them with his knowledge and his gifts. Instead, we get a man. Like a man, a human. A human. Like, and the way it was done was just, again, for me, I kept telling people over and over, I was like, the red herrings are so strong. This would be the worst reveal of all time if they actually make him Sauron, because they've given us all these clues where they're pointing at him going, yeah, guys, look, it's Sauron. But not really, because look over here, because, you know, stranger. But look at all the clues. Stranger, look at all the clues. Stranger, stranger danger. And at the end, it turned out to be Halbrand. Very disappointing. Yeah, horrible. I don't know. Thoughts, comments, drop them down below. To support like all of these amazing people, it's really simple. On premieres like this, do super chats and stickers. On the uploads, you can do a super thanks. Join as a member of the Adventurers Guild. We got 3 different tiers. There's a Patreon page with more. Stick around. I've got more Rings of Power rant stuff coming. We're not done. They're filming season 2 right now. They started filming recently, so we're going to be covering season 2's production. We're going to continue to rant about season 1 and ask questions, because as I'm reading through the Mondays of Middle Earth show, I've got more questions about the Rings of Power and the decisions they made. So we'll be continuing. So stick around if you like that kind of stuff. Until next time, let's just take the weekend and try to recover from the ridiculousness that is, or was, the Rings of Power. It still is, because it's coming out with another season. Oh, Halbrand.